So this draft, Monty.
This draft.
God. It's like so close to the best possible draft of champions.
I know, it's pretty crazy, right?
So let's talk about it. Like, the big story is with the way they banned, they kind of forced themselves because they banned 2 mid lane champions. Like, this is the first time no supports were banned. They banned 2 mid lane champions. They decided to ban Maokai last. And then they take the Echo first. Over Sivir, Kindred, Rise.
I mean, the Zillion Pocket Ban, we talked about this coming out too. Like, for those people who don't know, you mentioned this about Faker and Zillion.
I mean, the only mid laner at the tournament with a win on Zillion is Faker, which, you know, we've been spoiled. There's been a lot of Zillion recently because KT obviously are excellent at it, and then SKT have recently gone from like it being obviously a like just complete mind games thing to actually being very practiced on themselves. Because like Zillion's such a weird champion, and that like I never thought you could be lane dominant on Zillion until we saw Fly really push people around on lanes. In lanes you wouldn't expect. Like, he was winning lane against Corki, which is like insane, but a sign of his skill. And like, the ability to like flash double bomb, like hit those, like the skill cap on Zone is really high. And so no mid lane. Only who he has one game, which was a loss against Immortals, and no one else has a game. So you're on blue side, so you do have room for pocket bans, but like they go for Echo first, and it ends up being an Echo flex, but the price they pay is so heavy.
Right, and they don't even know when they take their last draft either. Like, they show the Echo mid before the Poppy even comes in. So you don't even know necessarily where that Rise is going. And remember, Duke is like a god tier top Rise player from way back in the day.
He hasn't played it this year.
No.
To be fair, SKT haven't played
Yeah, and that was the big thing coming in, right? Which wasn't mentioned on the stream, but this was Faker's first game of Rise.
And look,
In 2016. Like, this was his first and second games of Rise. He has not played it this entire year so far.
and like it's important to point that out, but it's also important to point out like this is not a surprise. Everyone knows he's a great Rise. Last time he played in the international scene, fantastic Rise. Rise was changed, so But then if you're watching his solo queue, still plays a lot of Rise, still does that Faker thing where he just flash all-ins people, and you're like, I didn't know you could kill someone at level 5, but apparently you can. So that's why we talked to every stage of the playoffs. We're like, when is he going to bring out the Rise? When is he going to bring out the Rise? And he never did.
No, he didn't. And he even let other people pick Rise and then played Cassiopeia into it. So it's like, it didn't seem, because they have these counter picks, it didn't seem like SKT was really prioritizing.
And then you're the one that brought the conundrum of either you take the Rise away and he plays the Cassio, or you leave Rise up and he's finally shown that he feels like playing Rise again, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic Rise player. In that which doesn't sound like an amazing thing, but like his damage calculations are amazing. Like, he's really smart about knowing if he can kill someone. But then the draft is just filthy.
Yeah, you have all the engage you could want. You have flank potential with Poppy for the engage. You have Alistar for engage. You have Sivir ult for engage. You can dive basically any turret in any lane because of the Kindred, combined with the Alistar and the Sivir and the Rise. So like you're not safe on any part of the map with the draft that they got. And certainly Lucian does well against the Sivir in the lane, but not well enough, I think, to really justify it. And you don't have the pressure from the jungler early either. And then Poppy versus Echo, well, Echo's not even there, so it's Poppy versus Gragas. It's going to be kind of a wash. At least this time G2 actually does have better engage now that they have the Gragas in the top lane, so at least they have a reliable form of engage. But
Kikis very quickly shows he can't play Gragas.
No, he can't.
Like, it's not a nice thing to say, but like, this was not a competitive level Gragas game.
No, his mechanics were really bad in this game.
But the pick is good. Ixu, of course, is the one who brought it back. Obviously, it was around a long time ago. Brought it back in Korea, played it very well. Full tank. People mess around with. I know, who was it? It was Snake top laner. What's the Snake top laner's name again? The one everyone loves.
Flandre?
Flandre was playing Rod of Ages Abyssal because he builds damage and everything, which is okay, but full tank, Iceborne Gauntlet build does so well. It is powerful. It's a fine matchup against Poppy. You have ranged wave clear, but it certainly doesn't come together. Shall we roll the clip?
That rise to a joy to full times is they picked X composition for Phoenix, then turned out Tank up, sporting the highest share of MSI icons.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the beginning of this game.
The eventual result,
So the casters talk about this being like a. Is there any like? Because I mean, you were a coach. Like, is there really a like?
No.
There isn't really. There's no like honor treaty like.
No.
We'll see how it goes. SKT took control very early in their game. There's no doubt about that against Supermassive. So we'll have to see really what can happen.
They're both trading right here, right?
Sure.
In that game, started out very early. Good trades against Duke. All figures to flash.
I mean, Faker is being silly right there, right? Because if you notice his positioning of his
It was, like,
support
over
and AD
half.
carry, like, so Wolf is there at the choke point, but then Wolf leaves. So Wolf pings Braum, right? He knows Braum is in there, and then he fades down because Lucian is there. So why Wolf goes down like there is they have a ward in Tribrush. He knows Braum is there, so they're actually going to try and get the jump onto Lucian right here, but they don't get it. It's just a bad communication. So burns that ability very early on.
Gentleman's agreement that you laugh at each other in the mid lane. Faker starts hitting perks a little bit.
I mean, gentleman's agreement's probably fair, I guess.
Flash. That means if Trick shows up early, which he has done many times in the past, we could see a double flash dash onto Faker, and he could just drop the first ball. That would be phenomenal here. I'm sure the crowd would love it. Perks don't mess around. He is ready to take the fight in.
Which changes their game plan quite a lot because now Rise can't exert any lane pressure at all.
Go to dinner and talk about it later. A lot on the line here for the mid lane.
I mean, not that it's like a super big deal because he's still up against a melee.
He's against Echo Graves. Like,
Yeah,
there's no world where Rise just chills in the parallel convergence and dies, right?
yeah, and also, I mean, when you're playing around the cooldown of the Time Winder too, there's a lot of opportunities for you to deny CS. So, I mean, look at those trades
Interesting
right there.
that Wolf's running the other one. He's not running wind speakers anymore.
Yeah,
And the early control in this lane.
I thought I saw Mata run.
He was running
Thunderlords.
He was running Thunderlords.
That's crazy. On Alistair. I thought that was funny.
I mean, did you see how many aggressive WQ Thunderlords procs he got? It was
Yeah.
worth, man.
Wolf with the adaptation. No
Just funny, you rarely see that.
level 1. Try and survive. Great bits of pressure by Hybrid. He knows what the deal is. Triumphant roar out, come in. He's not
Yeah.
much. You're happy.
Just how the lane goes.
When you see that, when you play against an Alistar and he's healing level 1, that means he doesn't get access to combo until level 3.
The thing too about the jungle pathing right now is if you notice what Blank does is he goes Krugs to red to blue, and that's a little bit unfortunate because we do see Trick with a full clear right here. Now, I think the reason why he's not invading is obviously because Faker doesn't have flash and because his bottom lane is getting pushed in. But there is an opportunity, of course, always in the Kindred Graves matchup just to go buff to buff and then invade Graves at his second buff.
Kindred at level 3 until
Yeah.
the change comes through on 6.9 is unbelievably strong
Yeah.
at dueling.
Blank's obviously not going to do that because of the situation that his mid and
Sure.
bottom lane are in, but you always have to have that in the back of your mind. So that's something that goes into the thought about pathing in this matchup.
Because you can hop over the dragon wall.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you just go red straight to blue and then over the dragon wall, and then if Graves does that full clear like we just saw, you're 100% there. In fact, he doesn't even have to do the full clear. I think if Graves goes blue, I'm not entirely sure about this, but blue to wolves to red, I think you can still get there in time.
the only issue is that you kind of want him to do a full clear because remember, if you go over the wall, you either use your W
Yep.
or you use your Q and have to wait 12 seconds or whatever the cooldown is. It's quite long. I don't really know what Trick is doing here.
Wolf's able to stay goal
I guess trying to stop a freeze, maybe?
I mean, there's no freeze that's going to happen there. It's pushing out.
Yeah, but there's no kill pressure either.
I have no idea why he would make that gank. You know, it's even weirder because he stops his recall.
He's like,
But
"This is the
100% this
time."
wave, I mean, if we look at it, there's like a bunch of caster minions here, so it is actually pushing out this direction.
Well, that's the only reason I could think for the jungler showing for the 0% game.
So weird.
Goal side does give them a little bit of lane
Too much
control here.
aggro.
But
The
it allows
minions.
Blank to do what he likes best, is just take control of the other side of the map, move into the enemy.
Yeah, Blank just gets so much out of this.
Here on the other lanes.
So the one thing Spawn mentioned in the analyst desk, which I want to track this game, is like Poppy almost always has lane control over Gragas this game, which should not be possible. Gragas
No,
is
because
so-
we've seen Ixu like completely dominate lane.
How could like what are you skilling to not push out a Poppy? It's like I mean, he's out of mana obviously, but
Especially after the Poppy nerfs too, it should be even easier now in theory.
yeah, because a lot of the damage is like max
The-
health. Right?
Yeah, the Q.
The base.
The Q got nerfed.
Is he max W?
I don't know. I haven't clicked on him. Like, but see, this entire thing, this is like the ripple effect, right? None of this happens if Trick doesn't show on the bottom side.
Sure.
Like none of it. Because let's take a look at this. So what happens when
The
Trick
0%
shows?
gank.
Yeah, what happens when Trick shows right here is that Blank is coming in, right? So he is coming into the enemy jungle, and they see the Graves come around the corner. So he's just going to go for the Gromp
Yeah.
immediately. So he goes over to the Gromp right
He
here.
would have backed away.
Yeah, would have backed away, and because he would have probably just taken the Scuttle Crab here. He was checking to see, and then he would have taken the Scuttle Crab and gotten the mark. But instead, he pings the Gromp. So now he's making a decision to go for this Gromp, right? So Graves is going to back off, and they know Graves is backing off. So Graves is still going to be on the bottom side, or he's recalling. So the Gromp is taken, and then Blank is going to go put a ward right here to make sure that this dive is safe, right?
Yep.
So, because he's going to be able to see if Graves is here, and if Graves comes in this side of the jungle, now he has vision. This ward,
It's a nice ward.
it's a nice ward. It's going to see everything. Absolutely. He's going to go do wolves, and then wait for the wave to push up, and he still doesn't see Graves.
It is worth noting that by this point, Graves could be there.
Graves could be in lane. Graves could be here.
Well, maybe not quite there, but like close to there.
But the thing is that even with this, he's going to be able to see him as soon
Sure.
as he wraps around to the tri-brush, right?
I'm just saying
So-
that a lot. He has done
Yes.
2 camps.
Yes,
since
he,
we've
Graves
seen,
could be underneath the turret, but he's not, and Kikis has no mana.
which is why he just kind of walks and is like, "Is anyone here?"
Yeah, and he checks, and even though there's a ward in that
This
brush,
is Graves there. Check.
actually the ward expired. The ward expired right before he
Did
came
he
into
ever
tri-brush.
he didn't get sin by it either. Interesting.
No, he never got seen by it. Because see, it's there and then it's not.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Yeah,
5 seconds that I'm skipping right now. Oops.
And then he does that. Is Graves there? Check. And they force a teleport. So
Yeah, it's just like.
so basically,
But this all happened because of what Trick did in the bottom
because
side.
Trick
showing.
made a 0% play, they lost a summoner for it. Basically, they lost teleport.
Which is huge because now Faker has TP advantage. So and that
And
actually
we
that
know
is
it.
going to be bad.
You know, the other reason they did this is that Kickers has been out of mana the whole last 3 minutes or so.
Yep.
Which I don't understand, but I guess he must have been spamming Q, but it just didn't seem like he ever had lane pressure.
But yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that this is why you really have to think about when you show as a jungler, because if you show like that, a good team or a good jungler is going to mess you up.
Speaking of teleports being down,
Yep. And so actually, it was a 2 TP play because they pushed in the wave too. So
Poppy can just chill.
that's like ridiculous to get both TPs out pre 6 minutes. And now you have 5 minutes of time to play with here if you're SK Telecom to make a teleport play or even a double teleport play.
I just don't understand how on 6.8 you can be 10 CS behind a Poppy as Gragas. Like, I just don't know how it's
Especially when you
possible.
take 2 Doran's rings and 2 cloth
Well, he didn't
armors.
have. I mean,
Yeah, but
I was in the laning phase. Gragas going for a walk, which is
it's already been noticed. Like the MIA ping already came down from Duke, so
Sure.
Faker's just gonna back off immediately after pushing the wave.
Not very happy with their last results of MSI, so let's see what they can do here. SKT.
the Sivir has no kill pressure in this lane. Every time Unbreakable's out. See, Wolf gets that ward, and that obviously becomes very important.
Yeah. But it's a slow setup here, right? You can see that
Ward's
SKT
cleared.
is constantly thinking like 1 to 2 minutes in advance. Ward does go down. More MIA pings, though. They know that Grace will be wrapping around the side.
I mean, the information here is no TPs to 2 TPs.
So it is a W max.
Why? Seems to be running in more than a Q max.
Yeah, I don't know what... I mean, the W max does give you % health HP.
Worth noting that it does give you wave clear as well, given they changed it. But interesting. W max top lane. It's been done before, and you see it in the jungle very rarely. Interesting.
But they're able to turn it quickly. Does he want to stand toe to toe with Bang here? And SKT slightly gets these advantages in lane. Emperor very low now and close to having to use summoners. These are the 6s we were talking about. But Perks is 7 now. Comes up fast farming these lanes. Yeah, he walks up to Faker, says, Faker, fight me. My jungler's not here. Joke, he is. But then Storm Raider Surge pops and Faker...
Funny how fast this game changes, because in your head this was like a complete shitstorm, right? But look at 7 minutes 35.
Yep.
It's equal.
But you can see the incremental advantages.
Sure,
and, like,
sure.
That's what's going to come
But in
into
your
play.
head, it's like, it was 10k 1 minute in. Like, that's how you remember these sort of games.
Yeah, but this is just such a...
So the big thing here is that Kindred gets this ward down.
Yep. Well, no.
Hasn't warded yet. Maybe that was a different play.
I think it was a
But
different play.
this is a really good turret dive. And
Alright,
the,
there's nothing you can do about that.
but the point that I think it was Jat made is like, SKT used nothing. They used nothing on that. They used only Alistar ult.
Yep.
Alistar perfectly tanks it.
And they also got rid of another summoner. 2 summoners, actually.
But they don't over pursue. They don't follow hybrid. They're just like, we got the kill, and now we have lane control, and that's worth.
Yep. And there's no response. And if anybody tries to come down there, well, they've got 2 TVs to answer, but they don't have to use it at all. But Emperor was just so screwed after all those like trades that he went for, and the fact that he's completely because they just don't have the sustain. Wolf is there with a triumphant roar just to keep him topped up, and even though Hybrid does a good job of saving him a lot of the time, like once that happens.
But it's so smart. Blank acquires the target, knows how long the marks will change, waits for Wolf to take aggro. Like, 0 risk.
Also, though, Emperor should not have been there. He should have just gone back because Trick was on the opposite side of the map, so you have to assume that they're going to be coming for you. He stayed there an awful long time with like sub 25%.
When he clearly
HP.
had BF Sword Gold, because
Yeah.
he went back and bought BF Sword Double. He obviously wanted the...
I mean, he just didn't want to give up any turret damage. But that turret wasn't going to go down yet either.
He had heal and flash, but...
I mean, there was no getting out of that.
No.
Gets turned around here. Really good patience from Bang & Wolf. They know the approach to win this bot lane matchup is sustain, and they did it. Carefully so, stayed even on CS, and eventually Emperor's over-aggression bites him, because he was so keen on winning lane against Bang & Wolf, instead of just going greed in CS, that eventually Wolf had so much mana left that he could just start comboing aggressively.
Stylistically, that is Emperor, right? He likes to be aggressive.
Yeah, he likes to
kind of prove to himself that that's the way he should be playing.
And he also has been punished multiple times for that. Usually in team fights, not so much in lane.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
That's why, because he flashes in lane. But that's now both summoners down for him as they start to go aggressive on the fight. One more for each.
Here comes
I mean, that was just
Rise.
such an epic
Turning this one
bait.
around, the teleport, that's going to be coming in from Faker.
Like,
Target selection is really good. Oh, flashed into the snare.
I mean, you get 2 kills out of this too. And look at the timing on this too, because look how close these TPs are to coming up. So let's talk about how this fight actually started. So Blank is on this side. They're handing over the blue buff, right? So Alistar is in the enemy jungle. They have eyes onto the Braum. A couple wards deep on in.
Teleports about 25 seconds off
Yeah,
cooldown.
so they still have this timing window to work with right here.
But Bang just goes for a reach here. They're just like, alright, Alice is going to get here. There's no Braum.
Yeah,
Go for
so
it.
they know where Braum is because Wolf just saw him and he had the ward
Heels
down.
down,
So
they
he's,
know that.
Yep. So might as well just try and go for this. They force the flash early. Pulv is going to miss. And they just back off. But at this point, like, G2, like, what are you doing? Like, you know what your TP timers
But like,
are.
they're so, like, why does he dash forward?
Yeah, like? There's no reason to do that. Obviously, the spell shield's back up too, so you're not going to get anything. Okay, they got to heal.
It's worth knowing that Ryze is in lane. Like, it's one of those things where Echo doesn't have an interrupt and parallel convergence probably. I think parallel convergence, if you cast it, will take longer than the cast time of teleport. So.
Yeah, I think so too. It's close either way. But I mean, then you just give Ryze a double kill. But you flashed away, so you lost your flash, and you force out the Sivir ultimate. But you can't just pursue that hard up when you don't know what your own team's teleport summoner time.
But what does it achieve to like relentlessly pursue forward, like 200 damage trade? Like, you're not going to win the lane from that.
No, you open yourself up to, even if you can counter teleport to some really intense damage.
But the thing is, like, they're both full health. Like, you're not going to kill Bang. Like, I just don't know what this ever achieves.
Yeah. 2 summoners up on Bang, spell shield's still up. There's nothing you can do. Minion blocked a little bit.
Oh, poor hybrid.
Well, he's going to get hit either way, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, he was on one side of Alistair, then he was on the other side of Alistair, so... Because look at that. Like,
Flash headbutt pole.
Yeah, he's going to get nailed by that pole. See, look. He doesn't flash, he gets nailed. He flashes, he gets nailed. Either way.
I know, but it's still depressing, right?
Yeah.
It is still a double knockup here, so really good target selection. Hybrid still had flash, Emperor did not. Wolf had the brains, play was made.
Faker teleported right in front of Perks, dude. Perks was diving on him and doing damage. Faker was like, see you later, buddy. I'll be in the bot lane having fun with your AD carry. It's just when you're seeing it.
Oh, man. Like, giving this Ryze such an early Rod of Ages is crazy. I mean, I love how Faker goes double Rod this game. It's so BM.
I really wish I could substantiate the post I saw Dexter make.
What?
He's like, his post was like, I interviewed Faker about his decision to build double Rod of Ages, and apparently, this is just a quote from, maybe it's a joke, but like, apparently Faker said, or G2 looked like they were having fun, so I thought I'd have fun as well.
I hope he said that. That's amazing. So there's at least a little bit of a window of time here for G2 to maybe do something.
Is there though?
Well, they just bait out the TP again, right? So let's talk about what SKT does here. Because, so Duke is in the top lane, right? And again, they're perhaps overreaching in this bottom side. So they're just going to try and go all in. And what are the options here? So look at this positioning. Gragas has fallen back to maybe TP in right here, right? And what Faker's going to do is he's going to try and get on top of Echo immediately because he's got Kindred to back him up. So he's trying to prevent the TP in the mid lane. That's why he's moving forward. But this guy's still coming in. But SKT, they don't have to worry. The 2 ults have been used. They bait out the teleport. And there's no chance. I mean, Blank is here to back up as well. They force the ultimate immediately out of Perks. And they chase a little bit. They're not going to get a kill here. But, again, just like free summoners basically blown by G2 because SK Telecom's communication is so good that you can see all of their team members moving across the map in unison, and all of them know what their limits are at any given point in time. Except for Wolf, who dies here.
Bang has no mana.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything.
That was bad.
They're all great except for Wolf.
Yeah, definitely sloppy right there. Not the ideal play, but especially after they made that really good play. But it doesn't actually do anything in the end because there isn't an objective that can be actually taken here by G2.
Well, in general, they do have a little bit of vision, but Trick has stayed out of that. He's not showing himself anymore. They had a bit of a window where they could work with that ominousness, if you will. Where's Trick?
Use it to your advantage.
All right. Spell shield given.
Why?
A good amount of back to
Well,
That was just a waste. Again, you don't have the Sivir ult, you don't have the Alistair ult, you don't have any mana. Like, in theory, that's a good play, right? You want to go for that. Actually, he was stopped by a Gragas ult.
oh. Good job, Kikus.
But yes, Duke should not have been there so far up.
Let the record
in
show.
Gragas's face.
Let
trying
the
to
record
TV.
show that not reflected was Kickers interrupting teleports in
Yeah,
both
yeah, he
games
did that.
very well, actually.
That's very true.
He deserves credit for that.
So yeah, it wasn't interrupted ultimate, but even if Duke can get this off, I mean, he has ult. Maybe he can kill Trick or Emperor, but I think that's a
His
stretch.
balmy
I
Cinder.
just don't think you get. I don't think that's a good play, regardless of whether it's canceled or not.
Maybe the respect for Trick's flash, but likely since Duke had flash, that would have been the Gragas ulti. Good spot. Good spot. Got it.
Good catch, Crapper.
It was indeed a Gragas ulti, just been told.
All right, here's the other TP though. This is going to be Perks. He goes in hard. The time winder does hit Blank, but
Blank has ultimate.
Yeah, Wolf has no ultimate though. That's. I mean, it's actually insane that SKT actually even tried to make this play while Wolf's ultimate was still down, and so was Bang's, and Bang had no mana. I think this is pretty sloppy by SKT, actually, trying to go in on this one. Again, you know you have no TP, and Perks is going to be coming in there. And they kite well with the Boomerang Blade, but Wolf does get stunned.
Teleport's also 5 seconds off cooldown.
Yeah. So, I think that's a little bit of an overreach there by SKT. They're actually lucky they didn't lose more, I think. But Perks is itemized for Abyssal Scepter, so he's going to take a lot of damage for that Sivir right now.
Yeah.
And the Kindred.
There's no kill pressure though, right? He'll just ult away.
But he didn't.
Listen to heal. Perks, he goes in hard. The time winder does
Like, he didn't ult at all right there. Not sure what happened to him.
not being down. Respite actually leaves him
You ult now.
gives him the heal.
He stuck around because he got greedy for the kill, but that's a really bad trade.
Almost saved Wolf on that one. Perks stops, but the enemy support.
Weird.
Sadly,
But,
you get the support
yeah.
of the enemy Nexus, he doesn't transform to a queen. He still stays in support. Dang.
I'd love to get another mid laner in there. So Trick back.
Cyrus support, man.
Yeah. Trick back.
I don't like Graves much anymore.
Steal this mark away from
You don't?
I mean, he got pummeled every game he was played in the Champions Final as well.
I think Kindred and Italy are better.
With the nerfs, like on 6.8, like he's objectively worse. Like they just reduced his
Yeah.
auto attack damage, which is a pretty big deal.
A lot of love being given.
Doo 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 doo.
Sneak ping, Unbreakable gets caught. Hybrid.
Well,
Bold prediction, but
now up in CS.
Hybrid is walking up right now while his AD carry is not there. He's trying to protect his AD carry during the recall, right? So he walks like
yeah.
that's so lazy, right? Emperor requires the Unbreakable to be used to protect him during his recall, and then Hybrid is just like left by himself.
Braum is such a bro, and then like,
Braum is such a Hybrid is such a bro, dude.
bold prediction, but I think
For Emperor just standing there trying to get like recall, just use all of Braum's abilities. That's the easiest dive ever. Faker totally did not need a TP right there.
But if something like that happens, they adapt immediately.
Kika's flash ulting for that when Blank still had his dash up is pretty bad. This is my favorite play, Papa Smithy. You ready for this?
for the volleyball. Are you ready for the volleyball?
I like how Wolf and Faker just realized that the trick is like
Yeah,
right
'cause,
next
at this
to the
point
pit.
they're just like they haven't worked it out yet, and then they're like, wait.
Just fucking served up straight into the rune prison. Faker's like, I don't even need a flash. I just got you over the wall. Second rune prison.
with their food right now. Faker gets hit by Kikis here, but he's big enough to stay.
And this is where it all starts to go to shit for G2.
Be careful of Emperor.
I mean, you saw the pick ban, right?
Fair enough, fair enough.
The kick is 3 down now for G2. Do they want more pain? They're saying, yes, sir, may I have enough? Cyber.
I just love
Oh, that is absolutely
that play. It's so funny.
Should play more solo queue. Not went on vacation. Wolf not getting cut out though.
Like Trick, there's no way you expect this to happen if you're Trick
What,
either.
Riot's over the wall.
There's no way. Like I can't even really fault Trick for doing this because like look, G2's like putting the pressure on the mid
House the ult's
lane.
down, gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, they're like gonna take out the mid turret. And Trick's
Die.
like,
Die.
he knows the Alistar ult's down too. He's like, look at this stupid support all by himself. It's like, oh shit.
That's just disgusting. See him back. Wow.
Just wrecked.
Food right now.
Guess who has no magic resist?
But he's big enough to stand tall. A little bit of triumph.
Emperor failed his dash. You see that?
No, I didn't. Let's see it. Oh no. The faceplant though.
From Roar here, they're gonna have to be careful of Emperor. Another
Not the worst faceplant we saw.
coast to coast with the battles on this one, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the kill going around to Kickus. Down now for G2.
We have that flash up actually did serve a lot of use later on. Bang just shows up. Zone's about, well, they goes ahead and takes the blue buff. But they did lose a turret for it, so credit to G2 for actually getting the objective, but it doesn't exactly equal the numerous kills that they lost in that whole trade that started with Emperor just greedily recalling and hybrid blocking all of the silver damage.
Why
with
does someone have to
Unbreakable.
block for your recall?
I just truly terrible, isn't it?
And like, just like,
The turnaround from Wolf to
because Brom's such a bro and he got like so denied. There's some wingman like illusion that Thorin could make there that would be great.
honestly a class above this iteration of D2E.
Well, Thorin's in Korea. It's his fault for doing the Asia Minor for Counter-Strike here
Ah.
instead of coming to VOD review with us.
With our good
Maybe-
friends at Spo TV.
Maybe he'll make a guest appearance later this week. For
Really?
VOD
We're gonna
reviews.
we're gonna trycast that.
I would. It would be hilarious. to have Thorin here.
Try VOD review.
He's only here to make witty comments
It's a VOD review.
/ inappropriate comments.
Vision 2. Trick goes down. We know how to
Good old
play it.
Thorin.
Let's see how this one goes.
5-0-0 now for Faker in the mid lane on that rise and instant lands.
That was a nice
Blank's life here.
Echo ultimate.
Alive throughout.
Right where he came back onto him. Yeah, it was good.
Gonna be going for the full fight.
With the Bissell too, big damage.
Board the exhaust as well from Wolf.
But this is when the gold lead is.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this. I mean, Perks does do a good job of baiting them into the Echo ult right
Yeah,
here.
the sick ult.
Yeah, it's really good.
He has to dash away. Boom! Look at that damage, man. Instant Kindred ultimate there.
Yeah, Trick is here too, trying to lay it down. But then the Kindred ult, like that's the real thing.
But look
is
where
that
Brom and Lucian are. That's the
they
biggest issue.
like Blank saw the ultimate coming in from Perks, right? It was predicted. He knew where the shadow was, and he jumps like, no, watch. No, he sees it, and then he immediately ults.
The damage.
Well, the damage is going to register no matter
No,
what.
no, I know.
What that does, though, because he instantly gets it, is there was a real danger of a collateral damage coming
Sure.
down if he hadn't actually ulted immediately, right?
So
So
the big issue is that, of course, that Lucian and Brom are not there yet.
and you see the top laners duking it out too. So
Yeah, they're not coming.
I mean, Duke is there because he's trying to keep Kickus from. Well, neither of them can teleport, so it's fine. It's whatever at this point in time. But it's still like it's a 3v2, but everybody's still pretty low. But the heal gets on 3 from SKT. And Blank just like barely lives with the help of the summoner heal, right?
And good
And
old
then
Faker.
Wolf lands like nails that exhaust, and then Faker's just absolutely massive.
Well, he's exhausted, so you wouldn't know it yet.
Yeah, but you know when that one Q just like wrecks Emperor.
Yeah. Sorry, you deserve better.
Drunk Rivington is the best.
One of your best friends of VOD review.
It's great.
But it may as well have been an ace. That was such an impressive team fight. 4v4. They
Oh, that reminds me, we didn't even watch the good part of the Flash Wolves game. Where is it?
Is it Clement Show on the analyst desk?
It is. Clemency was great, but it was also the end of the game where we got to see the Jat facepalm, which we need to watch in slow motion now. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
We didn't get to see it before, so.
Are we gonna do it like 0.5 or something? It's gonna happen during a Baron Steel, right?
Yeah, it was after the Baron Steel. Hold on. Oh, there it was. I missed it. That was my favorite part of tonight.
Wait for it.
Wait, it's so good. It's like, fuck this game.
Like fans don't realize it, but you do get
You get mad.
mad because you're like, no.
All right, that's fine. I'm glad I remembered to do that.
Good job, Monty. You nailed it. Twitch chat enjoyed it too.
All right, that was our interlude.
Flash Wolves chat.
Because that's going to be the face you're going to be making for the rest of this game if you're a G2 fan.
SKT's team fighting ground rule. Right there
You're not watching this if you're a G2 fan.
work on throughout the entirety of the split.
I mean, what's wrong with a 6-kill rise at sub 20 minutes, Father Smithy?
Faker was under siege there.
I could think of a couple of things.
They just really good at picking their targets, and they go down quick. Yes, it helps that Faker's 5-0. Now,
And they just took all the outer turrets at once. You like that?
was under siege there. Blind comes in for the help. Right
Do you like how they got 3 turrets at the same time?
entirety of the split, but they
What the fuck? How does that even happen?
Well, let's see. So like, this all happened, obviously. So then what happened? There was a big wave push.
Well, there are 4 people dead, right? And there's a wave top, and Kikis is going to recall.
Death time is pretty long.
that was such an impressive team fight.
At 17 minutes? Come on, they had time to take Dragon and then push 3 towers. Give me a
I mean-
fucking break.
Hey, man.
Inside the Parker. It's all right, but a little excited.
SKT's team fighting
I don't know why Kikis recalled.
impressive, and
That's the real mystery. What did he think was going to happen?
as well. The priority targets looking for the
Okay, so they get 4 people, and there's like a million wards from G2, so they should know that they're going to Dragon, right? And they're not coming top, because he has wards that'll tell him if somebody's going to dive him. So he goes back, I guess, just to shop or some shit, but it ends up with a Dragon. They get 4 kills, a Dragon, and 3 turrets.
So
That
let's-
is insane.
Well, let's work out how much gold they made after all these turrets fall down.
SKT's team fighting ground rule right there was very impressive, and that's
So there's another one down.
throughout the entirety of the split, but they carried back with 2 members.
It's gonna be like 5,000
Faker
at
was
17
under siege
minutes.
there. Blind comes in for the help. They just
Well, it's already 5,000. There's 6.
So
there's 7.
34.4. What was it before the fight started?
Before the fight started, we can go back.
team fight.
Well, it's 7,000 after the fight. So,
So this fight went from 28.8
So they-
to 34.4. So it's 5.6 thousand gold
oh my
in 2
god.
minutes. In a minute and a half.
Oh my god.
For context, that's at 17 minutes into the
Yeah,
game.
that's absolutely insane.
If he was there, he would have died as well. But it may as well have been an ace. That was such an impressive team fight. 4v4.
And a dragon.
All the uplifts. Miniature ace
the first dragon too. So it's
Yeah.
stats.
Inside the Parker. It's all right, but a little excited.
SKT's team fighting ground rule right there was very impressive, and that's something they had to work on throughout the entirety of the split. But they carried back with 2 members. They switched targets at necessary points. Faker was under siege there. Blind comes in for the help. They just really good at picking their targets, and they go that quick. Yes, it helps that Faker's 5-0. Who is playing on the enemy side of the map right now? Look, they're playing in SKT's jungle. That's something they did in their game earlier today as well. 23 of their 26 deaths.
And this is the thing about G2, right? Is that like they really do play the same if they're ahead or behind.
Yeah, they always
Which
play
is admirable.
crazy.
Which is admirable, but like,
Not playing passive at all.
and sometimes you bluff, but
Yeah, and I mean, they do pick up the kill on a Wolf right there. Unfortunately, like, you just can't do anything against a Rise that is this fed into the game, right? And it's not going to work to continue playing aggressively because you're just going to die.
do you reckon they've made enough things obnoxiously broken to make Rise not broken in the major work?
By the way, I want to point out that Perks died to the turret. And minions. He died to minions. That's why Faker got the kill. You'll notice that Faker is right here. He died to caster minions.
The caster curse is real.
That was the funniest part of this fight for me. I mean, sure, they get the pick onto Wolf, but
the damage
at the
he's
same
taking
time,
is
look at this.
awesome.
Duke still has his TP, so he's able just to flank right now, and you're just not getting out of this situation. The Bang doesn't even want to fight
I'm
him.
watching Perks, I'm gonna be real. So he takes a turret shot and minions.
Yeah, it's just minions.
No, the turret shot as well.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. It's a turret shot and minions. He's killed by the minions, though. You see that?
He's still alive, Monty. Now he's dead.
Still take down Perks on the top side. We got a push from Emperor in the bot lane, but a lot of ground is being lost here by.
Man,
Yeah, and it's almost.
it's not a fun time to be a G2 fan in this game.
So first you don't succeed, try.
It's definitely not.
Well, it's wrong.
Bad times were had.
Aggression is
I hope this is not how SKT runs the tournament.
here. Emperor.
We all hope that.
We really need to stop predicting against SKT. Why do we do it, Monty?
Corner U-turns
You realize in the last champions final and this champions final, we
It's
are
all
1
right.
and 6.
Dade's a free agent now. He's coming back to Samsung to revive the glorious Samsung times.
But no more Crown Fiestas.
I like Crown too, but it doesn't go with the storyline, Papa Smithy. The storyline is Samsung must rise again from the ashes to defeat SKT.
I thought the storyline was how many Brazilians can they import?
They only have one ex-Brazilian player.
Crown.
Yeah.
That's I forgot that.
Winged is on today.
Yeah. Samsung and Junior are basically the same team in my head. I like how Faker made doubly sure he got over the fat wall with Flash. Did you notice? Like, spent a second making sure he was there. Watch. He's like, I'm definitely next to it.
I think he was just waiting to see if this team was going to finish it off or not, right?
No. He was definitely making sure he didn't screw up the Flash. Well, I've never seen that before. Look at that's a big Flash, though.
Yeah.
And G2 can't even find an opening. Well, yes, they are trying to get back in. Every time it's closed, the door is closed immediately.
Yeah, and it is just really nice to see.
When you're 11,000 gold plus behind, the door isn't even there. The door is a lie. Ah, yes, the 20-minute Baron.
I mean, 11,000 goal in 20 minutes is just stupid. I do like how SKT doesn't actually commit to this Baron, though. They realize that it's too early.
Up until the late weeks, they were
I mean,
freaking free.
Even for their lead.
I mean, they started their season.
Oh, I get it. I thought that. Oh, I was thinking about the when they were playing against the Turkish team, Supermassive.
Still had that loss against KT. They still
put that out of your mind. No more thinking about that.
But then in playoffs, it all gelled. It all came together.
Well, there was a change after IEM,
Well,
right? There was a distinct change.
Rise got a second run of ages.
That's right.
I think they didn't even bring
Need two dicks to dick them twice.
jungler.
That's how it goes, Papa Smithy.
Bengi could not shift.
I saw Jack predicting that like Fake will play Aurelion Sol, and like obviously that turned out to be pretty on the ball about Aurelion Sol being a pick. So I didn't see Aurelion Sol being played at all. But it's much more Faker style to play like mid lane Olaf. Like,
Yeah.
if he's gonna big dick people, it's with like mid lane Olaf, Master Yi, or Aurelia.
Aurelia's been buffed too.
You know what would be a Faker mid lane champion? Aatrox.
So as soon as I saw that that Aurelia had gotten buffed, you know what I did, Papa Smithy?
What did you do? You check Faker's match history?
I checked Flames Master.
You're just waiting for that patch where like Nidalee is like for some reason buffed for lane and also Aurelia's buff.
Yeah. Yeah, and Aurelia, he's been playing Aurelia.
I bet he has. He'll be like, if they ever pick Nara, I've got the counter pick.
It looks like bang in the mid. The accordion, if you will. Back and forth, as you would say.
I mean, this is just a waste of time now.
Getting G2 as thin as possible.
902 rise.
Hey, his rod of ages number 2 is stacking.
Another inner turret down. The top one's going to be falling quite quickly to Duke here. On his poppy play. 193 to 150.
I just like that he buys, like, for the lead that they have, some of the least efficient items possible to close this game out.
Well, it'd be cruel if he bought the efficient items.
I just like how he doesn't die to that turret thanks to the Kindred ult.
Going to be a kill on the trick. It's going to be an inhibitor. And right now, a Baron
This game is just ridiculous.
could look to be going for a
Think?
Nexus turret, but they will back
I
off.
do think.
They realize the home guards could be a problem, but they're actually just going to back and base.
Yeah, one of the first very clean 1-3 runs we've seen this tournament so far. Almost it helps when you're 15,000 gold ahead.
Yeah.
So split up the lanes. Opening, take on the inhib. SKT is in complete control.
You have to admire SKT though, they don't over push this advantage. They just actually just recall and spend all their money and then come back to actually finish off this game. They don't get greedy at all.
Having fun. It's like you're dead.
I mean, Faker gets pretty greedy.
But why? It doesn't die.
He's gonna self-cast the ulti. No
You can't like fit your narrative around it. Yeah, they just they pretty much
Hey,
play
he had-
controlled. Meanwhile, he's getting Kindred ulted under the Nexus turrets. Don't you start, Monte Cristo.
Backfire just a little bit for G2.
At least they had the Kindred ult to save him.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty
calculated.
sure Faker would have done that with or without the Kindred ult though.
He certainly would have.
Staring you straight into the white of your eyes.
Look, casters fit things to the narratives, but I'm not giving you that one.
He's taking a few.
I agree with you.
Already, I'm sure he's happy to take a bunch. 6 seconds on to the Dragon. And SKT is just making sure they do this.
SKT Monty says someone in chat.
Yeah, good joke.
Down.
SKT Doe is sleeping.
I see. I got my KT I got
Yeah!
my KT scarf right here.
And what does it say on there, Monty? On the other side, much better.
We feel your victory.
Oh, I thought it said we kneel for your victory. We feel your victory makes a lot more sense.
I mean, it still doesn't really make sense, but
KT's really good at kneeling for other teams. Mostly SKT.
SKT is so sure the fight's with on the hunt there from Sivir, and they are just able to walk.
That said, KT pulled off perhaps the most surprising moment of the season. When... So I casted KT versus Rocks. And they beat Rocks,
the Malzahar.
right? So they beat... So it was KT versus Rocks. And before the show started, it was Achilles and me. And like, maybe it was Doe and me. I think it was Achilles. And they were like, oh, the KT, like, big boss is here. So, like, you know, the head of, like, some massive head of KT. I think it was head of all KT sports. Like, all their, like, sports teams is here. And he told us that if KT beat Rocks Tigers, he'll buy them all lobster dinner or something. And I'm like, that's cruel. Why would they, like, accept him coming out here? And then they crushed him and got lobster dinner, so it was great. That was very surprising. I played Malzahar that day. It was great.
There's even more happening than you're expecting in the fight. We saw fights in the bot lane, and then there was another 2, 3, 4, not 2, 3, 4, but more fights.
Well, at least they got lobster. Even if
At least they got, exactly, acquired lobster. And getting dicked by SKT in the semi-final.
I'm so sad about KT, considering they beat both SKT and Rocks in the second round robin.
Are KT good?
I don't know.
It's like literally score big dicks everyone or they lose. It's like...
Or someday. I think they were hit hard by the tank meta coming back.
But some days a god Maokai.
I know, but there has to actually be another carry on that team for that to work.
Score. On Graves.
I guess. Alright, I think we're gonna be done for tonight. 'Cause
We're
we have
not
to-
gonna do...
Nah.
We're not gonna miss the who.